here's another reason why you want to take control of what you're doing.
Everything kind of funnels into the only winning move is not to play the game.
So I got to ask permission to buy the gun, and then I got to pay to ask permission to carry the motherfucker outside of my house. How about you go fuck yourself?
Please re-record that.
One of these days we will to get you in there. So, I mean, that's what we've been trying to do, and getting everybody together today, because this is an impromptu weather report, only because of the fact that we don't have any bonus material to give you. So we are kind of behind on things that we should be doing, and we don't have any bonus episodes or anything like that in the can. So I decided late in the week that we were going to have a show, and it's just me and Jason right now. So that's good, because he never gets a chance to talk. So here's his opportunity to do it. And
I got nothing to say.
But really, we want to welcome you to the weather report, because we do this every Sunday, and we're supposed to have some canned video this week, because we're supposed to have Jason Stapleton on last week. That didn't work out, but we're going to reschedule him, and then we would have posted his bonus episode today. But now you get our pretty faces, so that's what we've been doing, and it's been
sucks to you guys.
What's that?
Sucks for them.
Yeah, it sucks for them.
Us again.
You know how it goes. Just
yeah.
People are going to do, but people do. But yeah, I had a whole weekend planned. We have our weekday podcast that we call the Weathered View, and we do that every morning from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I had a whole weekend planned. that I was going to do a floor in my trailer, my tent trailer, and then I was going to work out in my garden. But I got rained out yesterday, so the rains came for a mid-spring rain here.
The rains came out in Africa?
Yeah, rain came out of Africa and drowned me out for a day. We almost got an inch of rain, which is kind of rare for a middle spring here in California. Usually only about a quarter inch or something. But I actually cleaned my studio. This is the cleanest my studio has been in probably good 6 months. I mean, absolutely good 6 months. So I spent all day. My wife got in there, and she wanted me to vacuum the floor and all that. It was pretty bad. I would have to say that it was pretty bad. But that's what I did there. And of course, this morning I woke up and had my cup of coffee with my Weathered Soul swag cup that was made by Jason there, horrible designs. And then today I took a page out of Harkos's garden group and made my wife a nice pallet fence to go around her new box, which you can see on the Weathered Soul YouTube page, where I did some content on it. And so that's what I did this weekend, and that's where we're at. And then Ken has finally made it into the room here. So Jason, you better get your time in now, Jason.
Name a technical difficulty I didn't just have. My God, this mic's dead. That one's dead. I don't have the right cord. This one doesn't work. The light just. I turned my lights on, and the lights burn out. And then I'm like, I'm trying to click the link to come in, and for whatever reason, it was super slow. I'm like, at least I know
who reads my emails now.
Yeah, I do.
You have emails?
See, the thing is, Ken, is what you need to get some good Craft coffee, because that shit will keep you awake. And it doesn't. Right. And as we discussed earlier in the week, it's good coffee because it doesn't make you shit. A lot of other coffees make you shit like crazy because they suck. But Craft, it doesn't make you shit. So it
is a hell of a coffee. I've ordered it before.
That should be their tagline. Our coffee's so great, doesn't make you shit.
Well, we got to get Bill on here one of these days.
Yes.
We got to get him on here one of these days, because you got to get the 2-pound bags, Bill. I mean, dude, man, I need 2-pound bags. I drink a lot of coffee, but I bet you I can shit with your coffee.
I just buy a whole bunch of them, like 4 or 5 bags at a time. So just do that.
Well, it doesn't cost much more to ship a 2-pound bag than a 1-pound bag. So for shipping, for people like us that would buy 2-pound bags, I think that you're onto something there.
Yeah, absolutely.
You might lose a couple bucks on each pound, but you'll make it up in volume.
I love his coffee, man. The coffee is great.
Oh, it's fantastic coffee.
It is fantastic coffee, and I'm getting.
Does he have a website? Hey, I see him in the notes there. Hey, Bill, put your website up there.
Yeah, put your website up there. We'll click you on. We'll give you
tonight's show right sponsored by Colloquium Coffee, which I can never say. It's just one of those words like I can't say. It's coffee. Coffee with a C and an M. It's CM Coffee. I can't say his last name either. Bill Reichley. I'm way too Irish for all these crazy European words.
Well, you're getting us nice and raw today, which we're not actually going to do like a weathered view, because this is kind of like our brand right here. So we kind of like to protect our brand, which is the weathered report, as being kind of a somewhat sane podcast. I mean, sometimes it gets insane and stuff, but if you really want to find out what we really think, you gotta tune in on Monday through Friday in the morning for the weathered view, because we are definitely like the weathered view, or we are definitely like the view. Only we mansplain everything, but
yeah,
it worked out pretty good.
If the view is full of dudes, and yes, so I was right. It is Colloquium Craft. Colloquium.
That's how you say them.
Colloquium.
Yeah. I've been saying it right the entire time. Sweet. I did something right finally. Fucking right.
Like locking a colon
on my calendar.
To go along with what you were saying earlier, it's like locking a colon. So it's like what you're saying. It doesn't make you
it doesn't make you shit. Yes.
So I got to go back to smoking cigarettes.
Well, we are down some viewers tonight because we have left Facebook, because Facebook has changed their policies now, and we can no longer podcast to a group, and that's basically where all of our Facebook stuff came from. And I just got tired of Zuckerberg, so he can go make a flying.
He can go suck himself.
Yeah, he's just doing whatever he's going to do, and that's just the way it is. So I shut down a bunch of stuff. I'm not leaving Facebook. I mean, I'll post this podcast to Facebook. They can go see it, on the replay. But basically,
I'm selling a car on Facebook right now.
Are you now? Which
always exciting.
You are not selling the town car, are you?
No, that car shall never be sold. I'm selling actually both our Volvos. We're done with new cars. We're like, the hell with it. You know what I want? I want a fucking key. I want to put the thing in, and I want to turn it, and I want to have that also unlock the steering wheel like God intended.
Yep.
These Volvos I have are fantastic cars. They are incredible cars. But my wife and I both can't get past the key. So the key is this fob thing. And you put it in the dashboard in a little slot, and it grabs it and it pulls it in. And then you go with your foot on the brake, you press a button, and it starts the car. Neat. It is neat. But they're 2000. One's a 2007 and one 2008. I am really, me too. I'm gonna get a bulldozer. That's the way to do it. Yeah. So anyway, in our world of things that we're showing. So we're going to get some other cars. So we're going to get her. She's done with having a regular sedan and wants a Suburban. So we're going to get her a Suburban. How dare me? And then I'm selling my car too. And I'm going to buy something that was built hopefully before 1964, but before 77, 78, preferably, but hopefully before 64. And that's going to be my daily driver for the next year.
Since you're selling on Facebook, I think I'm going to message you every single day saying, is it still available? And then I won't say anything to you at all. And then I'll wait for another day and say, is it still available?
This is when you sell anything in Facebook Marketplace, which is a great place to sell stuff if you don't care about getting spammed, which it is. Is this still available? Is this still available? And so I had one guy this morning that was obviously, because the first thing when someone messages me, is it available? Or, hey, I'm interested. I go, of course, and troll their site. And so this guy's name's Nolan PB. And he says, do you have the title? And I'm like, well, right in the ad, it says clear title. I said, did you read the ad? He says, yes. Well, I said, well, it's listed as a clear title. So yes, I get a ton of spam accounts. Are you one? I knew he was one. No, sorry. There was a lot there. I guess I missed it. Hey, it happens. When can I come see it? And I'm like, I'm here all day after 2, and blah, blah, blah. He goes, and it showed 20,000 miles. Is that correct? So it's 200,000 miles. So obviously he's spending no time doing anything. And I said, thanks, but I can see you're not serious. So that was one of them, and I messed with it. And then usually they'll engage for a few more times until I get a fuck off, which is what I don't win unless they tell me to fuck off. And then let's see. What did Paul have to say? Yeah, Paul's just a ghost. Fuka, Fuka. That was his name. He's got two friends, and they're all from Zimbabwe. And he's like, would you be able to set up monthly payments? In the ad, it says cash only, in person. And I said, nope, knowing that this was going to get fun. He says, I recently got into, he must have listened to Jason Stapleton's World here for a minute, because he says, I recently got into an accident and needed a car for work. I can't afford it right now, but we'll be able to pay in 2 installments. Now, you guys, I'm selling this car. I'm listing it for $4,200. This is not an expensive car. And I said, that's not my problem. Dude, you are so obviously a scammer. 2 friends and a sob story. Try again. And he didn't try again. I was hoping that he would put a little effort into it, but he did not. So I've got like 5 different answers to the ads so far, and it's all been spam. I don't care. I'm selling a $4,000 car. Mostly when you sell a $4,000 car, mostly what you get is tire kickers, and then that one person that really needs the deal, and they'll get a deal. They'll come in and offer me $3,500. I'm like, yeah, sure, take it. What do I care?
Cash. You got cash.
Yeah, you got cash. You wave cash in front of me, dude. It's fine. I've had this car for 2 years. I paid $4,000.
Can I get it for $5?
Sure. What else are you gonna give me?
Are we gonna go down the tubes again really quick tonight?
Of course we are. We start in the tubes, Bruce. You can't go any lower than where we start.
I'll give you a happy ending.
So did you get your recorder up and running, or that you got?
No, I haven't even messed with it. I've got home and I have done the last 4 days. I've been doing almost completely some house stuff and a bunch of yard work. So a couple of years or last year, there was the house I bought had a shed, and it was a shitty old shed, and I got rid of it. And in front of the shed, there was like the paver blocks you put down like in a patio or something.
Yep.
There was like 3 rows of 8 of them. And so I dug one up last year, and there's another row underneath because we're in clay. So he didn't prepare the ground good enough. So he must have put a row down, and then they sunk. So he just put another row on top of them.
Oh gosh.
So I dug up, and these have been there for probably 15 years. In an area in the shade where it's just moss and grass and weeds. So they were pretty well stuck together. So I spent a couple of days ago just digging them all up, scraping them all off because they were in perfect condition. They were just buried. It was like Pompeii. I was like archaeology in my yard. But then I had a 6 foot by 10 foot, 4 inch deep hole with nothing in it, with sand on the bottom. So I had to go. So I brought my Volvo station wagon and got 26 bags of dirt in my Volvo station wagon. It was squat.
How big was it again, Ken?
What?
How big was the hole again?
6 by 10.
Okay, you've got lime and a shovel.
I don't have enough bodies. I've been on vacation, so it's been down for a while. The trunk of the car was full.
I don't have enough compost.
Yeah. So anyway, so I got that all done, put that all together, and then raked it all out and smoothed it. And then you're gonna love this, Bruce, in your world of hey, don't let things go to waste. I redirected my sump pump, which is going off about once an hour now because there's a lot of water, over to where I put all the grass.
Yeah, baby, that's the way to do it.
So
that's the way to do it.
Watering that shit for free.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say you took a shit in the hole.
I took a manure in the hole, and it makes the grass grow.
Hey, pro tip for anybody out there who does composting: pee in your compost bin every once in a while. It'll really charge it up. So, just to let you know.
So check this out, Bruce. You'll appreciate this. All right, let me see if I can get it.
The American Society of Composed.
Oh, that's your dad's thing.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
So it was on the date here is
1970.
Yeah. January 29th, 1970.
Look at that. That's too cool, dude.
Yep.
That is too cool.
ASCAP. It says ASCAP official and from New York, USA, from the Secretary and the President of ASCAP.
Cool. I cannot wait to do that. Your show, dude. We definitely got to get that going. But
well, I got also. I mean, this is kind of stuff when I grew up with that he had. So, as a composer and arranger, you know, he had working. I went through his files just trying to look for stuff that I liked. You know, music I liked. And one of the songs he did was called "In a Mellow Tone." It was a song with a lot of trombones in it. He played trombone, so I found his original score. It's a Duke Ellington song, but this is his original score, so it's all his handwritten.
Oh, jeez.
I mean,
wow, to write that is incredible.
You know,
I write tab, but I don't write music. I can do tab, but I don't write music.
Well, yeah, and here's the first trumpet, second trumpet, trombone parts. All I mean, it's just sixth trombone. Every.
I only do one part
of the band.
I only do one part, the guitar part.
So, I can't write music, but I can write my name. Does that count?
Can you write it in the snow over your?
Oh yes, I can very well.
Can you forge a check?
I'm not going to forge a check. You've got some skills.
You might have some business to do.
Absolutely.
Cool. So what we're doing today, because we don't have Harkos here yet. He's yet to show up. He actually texted me, and what did he say here? He probably cussed me out again, but
he's masturbating to Michelle Obama.
Yeah, something like that. He says, "Hey, I'll be on in 10 to 15 minutes late. I got home a little late, so I still have to grab something to eat real quick." I said, "No worries. We'll start without you and bring you in." He says, "Okay." And then Ken came in and said, "I didn't think we were doing a show tonight. I'll be there soon. We didn't have any." And then I said, "We didn't have any bonus material." Then Chris said, "Bruce tried to sneak one in on us, canceled the Thursday session, and then randomly sent out an email yesterday about it," which I did not. It was on Friday. And laugh out loud, he was trying to see who actually reads his emails, I guess. So, yeah.
And the answer is nobody, because you guys, we have a text stream that if any one of us run for any kind of office, just go to like the public whatever department of Yes I Can See Your Shit and get this text stream, and you'll pretty much be able to cancel anything that any of us ever want to do.
We're never going anywhere. We're never going anywhere.
It's a free-form jungle of mansplaining shit show.
Yes, it is.
I'm very proud. I'm very proud.
Me too.
We found our people, you guys. This is what it is. We found our people. We're all across the country.
So we do have a special show next week, though, right? That Ken,
so I'm working
booked in next week, right?
Yep. Shane Mecklen. We're tentatively sure on that. The only thing that might happen is if there's an extended session in the Minnesota legislature that would run through the weekend into when we do our show, which is very rare that time of year to be on a Sunday night. So we should be pretty good.
But it could happen, but it's very rare.
Right. So Shane Mecklen is a guy that kind of towards the end of my political activism career, he was one of the really good guys in the Minnesota legislature that takes absolutely no bullshit and is a real true fighter for liberty in a legislature that is absolutely as bad, if not worse, than what you have in California.
I don't think anything is as bad as the
believe me.
Yes,
they're trying to bring in all the California cafe standards, the gun laws, the Walz, the governor there in Minnesota, loves California and what they're doing. He comes from the teachers union, and he uses his time as he was in the National Guard. Was it Army National Guard or Air Force National Guard? One of the two. But he uses that. He wears that like a badge of honor. To get the people on the right to just kind of leave him alone a little bit. He's like, well, I'm military, and it's like, you know what? You can be a military and be a douchebag. That happens too.
Yes, it does.
Sorry. But, so yeah, they're really trying to make Minnesota into California, and anyone that with the means to get out is getting the hell out.
I cannot wait to get out. Like I said, I've got just one extenuating circumstance that's happening. And as soon as that happens, I am out of here. House is going up for the sale the day after. And yeah, we're so gone. So I actually used Nostr this weekend and let everybody know on Nostr that, hey, we're looking to relocate. So tell me all about your beautiful state that'll let me come in and not bring the stupid politics that freaking California has to follow us, because definitely Nashville is scared of California people coming. So, and things like that. But you know what? Any metro that you get to, you're going to have that melting pot of liberal progressiveness.
There's a melting pot, and then there's a takeover. And what you're experiencing is a takeover. Minneapolis, when I got there in the 80s, was a melting pot. And much like California, Minnesota is one of the most gorgeous states in the country.
Yeah.
You know, it's
California. California is absolutely
that's what I'm saying.
amazing.
Much like California, it's some of the most beautiful land in the world. It's a shame that's tainted by closed-minded people.
Yep.
And I could say the same thing about far right states.
You
know, that
absolutely
are the same kind of thing.
It's the same thing. It's just a different wing. That's what it is. Different wing of the bird.
Yep.
And I love California, man. I was born and raised here. I'm gonna hate leaving California, but it's just socially and politically, it's just not my jive anymore. And I don't have to suffer here. Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, I can make it here, no problem. I wouldn't have a problem with it, but I just can't stomach it anymore, man.
What you'll find when you move away from, because moving from Boston socioeconomic stuff is about the same out east as it is out west. It really is when you compared to the Midwest. When you move out here in the pace of lice is pretty
bad, right?
The lice is you got once you pass the lice in the tornadoes, you're good. But you get a lice tornado, you get the sharknadoes, you get your lice tornadoes, different. But no, the cost of living and the stress of being in the machine where everything is so expensive that you just have to kill yourself just to exist. When you get in the Midwest, that goes away. And I'm not saying people in the Midwest aren't stressed, because you are, but they're like, oh, you don't make nearly as much. Well, when you look at the numbers, you make pretty damn close, but the cost of living is cut in half.
Right.
So
or their taxes are non-existent, or something else is not there.
Right. You're in the breadbasket. I mean, so I just drove all the way across the country, of course, and gas was $3.04 to $3.25 a gallon until I hit Arizona. New Mexico a little bit, but Arizona, and then it jumped up a whole $1, and then it goes up another whole $1 when they get out where you are. And there's no reason for it.
$5.29, something like that out here.
And hotels and stays, everything. When I'm in the Midwest, we stayed at Hilton's all the way there and back, just so I wanted to see what the different Hiltons were like, and because you drive 10 or 11 hours. I don't want to stay in some little shit podunk hotel. We used to do that just to be cheap. We're like, you know what? We saved $100, but we're miserable. Yeah. So I stayed in a nice hotel, and and these aren't 4 stars, but they're, it's a Hilton. It's not bad. And, the Hilton in Lincoln, Nebraska, we stayed at was a nice place. We stayed at one in New Mexico too. It was like $139 a night for a king size suite room.
Yeah. I'm saying that's your worldwide renowned hotel there in Baldwin. So that's going to be cool.
That is a pretty nice hotel, actually, believe it or not.
Cool. Oh, then I'm gonna love it.
That's true. And
can't wait.
You have a place to meet. So I'm still waiting. So you got a trip coming. Everyone knows we've been talking about this trip. Bruce is flying over to meet with Jason, myself, and Chris Harkos is driving all the way up from Indiana and to Minnesota. We're going to go to the Back to the 50s car show, largest car show in the country. No car in there can be allowed. No car is allowed in there unless it's 1964 or older. And there's 13,000 cars. It's insane. But anyway, this thing, I'm waiting for Minnesota. That owes me thousands of dollars in tax refund that they sent me a note in the beginning of March 4th to be exact. They said, hey, we made a mistake on your 2001 taxes and we owe you $6,300. And I'm like, hey, give me that money. So you can go online and check stuff, but if they make a mistake, their system doesn't know what to do. So I can't check when there's money. So I have to call and wait for 15 minutes to talk to a person and make sure that I'm like, is this right? You said, oh yeah, it goes through 3 phases of it's in the 3rd phase of completion here, and then they send you either issue a check or give you they just send it to your bank account. And I'm like, well, okay, then why would you send me a letter before it went through all the phases of saying, hey, we owe you this money, we'll send it to you? She's like, well, you're actually getting more because we're going to pay you interest on that. I'm like, ooh.
Nice.
That's great.
The government's going to pay you interest?
Yeah. So instead of like 63, the 63.52 that they owe me, they're gonna send me like 64.26 or some shit like that. It's like another $50. I'll take it, but this is from the year 2021. So let's really do the interest and inflation from 2021 for $6,300.
Well, it should be like 7,000.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, great, but that is the money that part of what I'm using to buy an old car.
Nice.
So I'm waiting for that and to sell my 2 cars. So I don't want to take a loan. I just want to do this all in cash. And I try to flip cars and keep that same money doing. I've owned 55 cars since 2000.
Holy
Jesus Christ. You got me beat by about
50.
How many did you say you owned?
55. 55.
You got me beat by about 53.
There you go. I probably owned 20 cars before that too. But that's what I do. I buy cars, and I'm not really one to flip them. I try to buy cars that are near the bottom of their value so that they're not going to go down anymore. And then I take care of them and maintain them, buy them from old people that are either stopped driving or have maintained them really well. And then I drive them for a couple of years, put as many miles on them, but they're already lost all their value. So you can drive that same car for 2 years. You might have to put $1,000 into it over the course of a couple of years, but you don't need car payments. Your insurance is next to nothing. Your tabs are cheap. Your registration, all that stuff. And then you can usually sell it for the same or more than you bought it for. So I've been doing this for 20 years.
See, so now there's a side hustle there. So that's actually what the topic of this podcast is about tonight. Is about side hustles, about small businesses, is about our trials and tribulations of being an entrepreneur and things like that. And basically, that's where we're going with it. So I actually set up a slideshow for you guys. So when each one of you speaks about your side hustles and your show and your stuff that you're doing, I have some stuff ready for you as we go through it. So we can start. I want to start with Jason tonight because Ken, you don't read my emails, and Harkos is Harkos. He's late, so there he is. He's here. He can come in anytime. He's just sitting there in the background smiling.
Oh, well, you said you were going to bring me in, so I was just sitting here waiting my fucking turn. I didn't want to interrupt in the middle of some shit. I'm not Ken. You'll be in the middle of a conversation. I'm the Ken's. Hey, I'm here. Hey, I was
the deal with the email though is that it's Ken at AOL. That's my email. I had like one of the first ones, so I get a lot of spam from that, and hopefully Chris will be in there and join us tonight.
Yeah, I might show up one day. Fuck. I feel like in the Twitter Spaces again. Y'all can't hear me. I'm here screaming at the phone while I'm on the toilet.
The morning shit.
Yeah, well, Jason up there in the upper right hand corner, he is the owner of Horrible Designs. I'm sorry I didn't blow up your logo as far as I could, man. It's a real
size right there. Okay,
and it loses the resolution. We'll have to get Ken on that to get that resolution up or whatever.
It's on HD.
Yeah, that's an HD image right there.
Yep, that's right. That's why it's HD.
Yeah, but Jason that's life size as well too.
Jason is the curator of Horrible Designs, and this is one of his pages. This is actually the home page.
That's his dad. That's his dad.
I love
right
his
there.
dad. I love his dad.
That's
just like, oh god.
I can't believe
that's his dad.
I can't believe this kid.
I can't believe
it was like the perfect image that I found. It's like I was looking for when I was setting up this site, I was looking for photos of people who were embarrassed, and I found that one. I'm like, bingo, that's it.
Absolutely.
It's great. It's great. You guys got to go to his site. You got to go to horribledesigns.com.
You have to.
Yeah. So he covers everybody. He's got stuff from Mad K Studios. He's got stuff from I had to say it podcast. I'm not sure if he got any of Harkos's stuff, and he's got one.
It's in process. Yeah, it's in process. I got.
Yeah, we're both in the process. We're plebs right now, but
the stuff for Harkos I'll have published tomorrow.
Yeah, and then we'll get me down the way somewhere. But Ken is the major show here. But
for those
got a couple of things we got. We got coffee mugs.
I got a bunch of different fucking coffee mugs. The one that you were on before,
I got coffee mugs.
That one I sold a shitload of them before Christmas. It was unbelievable how many people wanted that mug.
What's that say on it?
I know.
It says "Go be jolly somewhere else."
Grumpy cat, exactly.
Grumpy cat, right? Grumpy cat.
Yes, I sold so many of those, and the
this is my favorite one.
This one's great. This one's fantastic, man.
Oh yeah, remember when RoboCop shot that dude in the dick?
Because everyone remembers that.
Yes, I mean, if you're Gen X, you've seen that movie.
That's a Gen X dog whistle right there. We're all
he does window art.
Those are called vinyls, Bruce. That's what we call them nowadays.
Yeah, it's window vinyl, Bruce.
Yeah, it's not. It's not art. We're not using lead-based paint anymore. Okay, it's actual vinyl stickers.
It's glass decorations.
Yeah, glass decoration with words.
Mouse pads, yep.
Mouse pads.
I'm willing to be unreasonable. That one has been selling really good too. That sticker.
Pew pew all pedos is what it says for those.
And it's beautiful because it's in the Subway font.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
And that's my favorite part of it because it just harkens back to what's his name?
Jared.
The guy, he lost over 400 pounds.
Right.
Not eating Subway, but by eating fresh, and by fresh he means young children. Right. He was chasing them, and he was chasing them and lost all that weight. And he stopped eating all the sugar because he was just having to chase these little kids around because apparently
I have to get my wife this T-shirt.
Yeah. Thou shall not try me. Mood 24/7. That one was a custom order from one of Ken's friends.
Which in our private chat today, I was talking about the pallet fence that I was making for my wife and what she wanted to do with it. And I just said, "Happy wife, happy life," because thou shalt not try me. And then this is his newest product, which is the tumblers. And I have one of those tumblers right here. This one right here. That's the one I got.
My test one that I did.
Yeah.
Oh, that's.
You said don't put it in the dishwasher. I did. It's just fun.
Yeah, don't put it in the dishwasher.
How did it turn out? How did it turn out after that?
It turned out great, dude. It's fine.
Better than ever? There you go.
Yeah, it's better than ever.
I mean, it's cooked in the easy bake oven, so.
Yeah, well, you know.
So
like
with that,
have any, no nicks, no scratches, no nothing.
That's
good. But what they will do is that I've got another one that my daughter bought me a long time ago, and they will rust on the inside if you put them in a dishwasher.
Yes, they will.
Well, you gotta remember, you're in California where the water is soft like the men.
Yeah.
Yeah, the water's extra soft. Yeah, all that.
We don't have any fluoride in our water, but anyway.
No, hey, all the
Jason, tell us a little bit how Horrible Designs got started, why you did it, and some of the trials and tribulations that you've had.
So it all started quite a long time ago.
In a galaxy far, far away.
In a galaxy far, far away from here, yes.
Yeah. In Minnesota, which is basically Canada.
Fuck you. You're closer to Canada than I am.
I said Minnesota's basically Canada. Fuck yeah, but we don't have the fucking A accent like y'all do up there in Minnesota.
I don't have the A accent.
Minnesota.
Oh.
Anyway, go ahead.
Put a cock in your mouth and shut up.
He'll just talk to you like this then.
This is our flagship podcast, guys.
So
I'm the governor of Minnesota, Jesse Ventura. That shit is hilarious. What's that? I can't remember that dude's name. He does a great impression.
Well, because
they're not going to let you talk, Jason.
I know they're not going to.
Just don't, Jason. Here's the problem. You stop talking. If you notice, the rest of us, none of us will. We'll just keep on railroading.
Okay, so the way that this whole thing started was, I used to take walks on my old job, and I would make memes on my phone. And some people started saying, "Well, you should probably put those on like a shirt or something like that." So I'm like, well, fuck, I might as well try that, see how it goes. And so I tried it out with some drop shipping. Started out just so there was no upfront cost, anything, and so wanted to see if anybody would buy it. And some people started buying it. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with people? They're buying this stuff, and it kept selling and it kept selling. And I'm like, well, so rather than drop shipping it, and because drop shipping the shipping takes a long time. It's like a week and a half to 2 weeks turnover time. So I started buying the equipment myself so I can start doing everything myself now. And now I've got like, as long as I have everything in stock, it's usually a day or two turnaround time if I don't have to order anything. And so now I just do it myself, and it's just kind of my own little outlet on my twisted and warped sense of humor. Like Ken, I do have a background in art. I did go to Minneapolis College of Art and Design for a year, but I still did go there, and I was an art student all throughout high school in advanced placement art. So I do have
all of us who did a year of college only. I'm in there.
Yeah,
I'm there with
fucking
you.
right.
Yeah,
I did a year of college too. I just did the 3 after it as well.
I did.
No, I'm talking about 1 year only. It's not about 1 year only. Okay.
I thought you meant at a time.
No, we did the fast track. Fuck it. Okay, we did the fast track. Fuck it. Where instead of getting a degree and realizing it was worthless, we spent 1 year and we're like, you know what? Fuck it. It's worthless.
I did a year too.
The program MCAD did what they're supposed to do. They weeded me out because I really didn't want to do that as a career. Which Ken will back up and saying that's what their whole.
That's what they did. That's what they do. You had about 280 people in the freshman year, and the usual graduating class was about 90 people.
Yep. And so I eventually did go back and finish up my degree for computer programming, which I do have a degree in now. But I like doing this little quirky offshoot art stuff and putting in different things. And some people will reach out to me saying, "Hey, can you do a special design for me?" I've got some friends of Ken's that will ask me to do some cars or something else, and they'll ask me if I can put it on a shirt or a hoodie or something else. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it.
My friend Tina, she's going to be one of your greatest clients, because as the summer goes through, she'll be like, "Oh, I saw this. I can get this on a shirt." Call Jason. She talks about it too. So she is actually talking about you and your customer service and how awesome you are to work with, because she was someone that dragged her fucking feet for a long time before she actually got off her butt and ordered something from you. And when she did, she got so much more than she expected, and was so happy with the quality of the work, how nice the materials and everything that were used were really good. And that, as she's done some other stuff with you too, it's just like, it wasn't just a one-time thing. You're always like that. We give you a lot of shit for a lot of stuff, but you're really good at what you do and whatnot.
And whatnot, yeah, exactly.
Well, I don't say that anymore. I hardly ever say that now. But also one of Ken's friends, Megan, will reach out to me and ask for
the Mopar mistress. That's her name. She's the Mopar. She's got a sick SRT Challenger. She
is awesome. I love working with her and Tina.
Okay. These car girls that I know are fun. You're going to meet them both. You guys will meet.
I want to meet Megan one day and at a show or something. I've met Tina, but I want to meet Megan.
That's right. Yeah, you did meet Tina.
So how long have you been in business there, Jason? I mean, how long did it take you to get this up off the ground and the way where it is now?
About 3 years now. Yeah, about six months to a year with the drop shipping, and then I bought all the equipment myself to where now I do everything myself. And I do from time to time notate that if something looks like it was packaged up by a kid, it's more than likely because it is, because my kids love helping package up my stuff for me.
Yeah, you got great kids too. I've met them both, and your wife too. I mean, you got a great family. You got to be just psyched about that.
All right. Well, Ken, you're up next, man.
One thing real quick about Jason's stuff too.
Go ahead.
One thing about Jason's stuff too. So the new store he said he was getting ready to open up for tomorrow. It's not technically for me. It's for me, but by extension, it's for one of my clients. He's a Christian hip hop artist. So on Horrible Designs, you're gonna find a lot of like hilarious stuff. But like if you are watching, listening, or whatever, and you want to get like some stuff that's more of like promotional of Christianity, then you can go over to the new one that's going to be Royalty Hustle Products. It's going to be going on there as well too. It's taking a secular twist and putting that on to promoting Christianity. So it's going to be interesting.
During your segment, go ahead and throw up a banner on that. Go ahead and make a banner and throw that up on the scroll down at the bottom. I think you have the capability of doing that, right?
Sure, I'll figure it out. I just want to say that about Jason's site. So,
okay.
If you guys want any stuff or whatever over there, Yeah,
well,
he's got Mad K Studio stuff, all kinds of stuff, man.
Yeah, he's got a whole page of Mad K Studio. I think there's 87 products on there you can
buy.
Yes, I
do.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're a car nut and stuff, yeah, go over there.
You can just go right to that and do that. It just the way you've got your site laid out is really good. It's well done, and I think that's paying off because you're starting to really pick up your business.
Yeah.
It seems like.
And then he also has the I Had to Say It podcast page. And I mean, that's a great place if you want to see pictures of hotels. You can go over there because Aaron Douche Hotel is the one that actually, gives all the designs for that. And if you want to see great pictures of hotels, you can get hotels designed on anything that you would like, a coffee mug, mouse pad, or anything. Right. It's all hotels everywhere. And they got to be douche hotels too, not just regular hotels.
Right. Ken, other than your professional career, you are the curator of Mad K Studios, and
that is a professional career, basically. He's a well-paid artist and has patents and all kinds of shit.
Beyond that, because we really don't talk about his other business on this podcast for reasons that are probably pretty good. But he is an artist. He's done very, very well as far as I'm concerned. I mean, he's a great artist. He's done pieces for me. I've got a piece that I'm going to show you that he's done for me in here. But basically, here's his homepage, Mad K Studios, and this is a great intro to his webpage. It's not the live webpage. I did a snippet of this, but this is a totally video portion of his webpage, and
it's a time lapse of drawing a car.
Dude, the time lapse is just freaking awesome, man. I mean, some of the stuff that he does and the way that he does it. This is his Lincoln Town car. Is that correct?
Yeah. That's your
Lincoln Town car.
That piece of art is hanging in my mom's kitchen because that was her favorite car.
Yeah, that's that Lincoln Continental.
It also can come onto a mug.
Tell me what that
or a
Continental thing. Yeah, that's right. Because you can. And Jason made for my mom, and he didn't even charge me because he thought it was cool. He made mugs of the drawing I did, and I gave it to my mom. She uses it for coffee. She's 92 years old. She uses it for coffee every day.
Nice.
Awesome. Yeah, you gotta have an awesome drawing of that 2003 Lincoln Continental that your dad used to have, man. It's a great Lincoln that you got there.
All right.
You just
do what's really great about that 2003 Lincoln Continental is that hit all that hip hop I listened to it. New Kids on the Block,
right?
And Sinead, the hip hop bands of the 90s. I love those guys.
Yeah, don't forget Aerosmith too, man. That's great hip hop.
Aerosmith was country. Get right.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
And here's one of a Harley, I guess that either it's his Harley or somebody's Harley.
That was a commission for a guy talk about, you're talking about a side business. This is what we're talking about. This is how this all works. So in my regular company, I design motorcycle parts and accessories. And one of our podcasts that we sponsor was this group called Law Abiding Biker, and they're 3 cops that got together and they have this show. And this is one of those guys' bikes that burnt down because they figured out how to take, they took the idea of having a podcast, but also sell products to their listeners. And much like what we're doing here a little bit, I mean, buy our stuff, don't buy our stuff. Really, we just want you to listen and share and enjoy the show. But if you want to buy stuff, great. It does help us a lot.
Just learn bare minimum.
Yeah, so these guys actually have built a 6 or 7 figure business of selling products through their podcast. And it's been great. I mean, to the point of when Harley was releasing their new bikes, they flew them out to go test the bikes before they released them. I mean, I've been in the industry 35 years. I don't get any kind of when there's a new model coming, we have to buy it from a dealership just like anyone else does. But anyway, these guys figured it out. So one of the guys had this bike that burned down in his garage. So he was the one that had the garage big enough to hold their inventory that they were shipping, and he'd do the shipping. And his garage burned down with the inventory and 2 bikes in there. And they didn't have the proper insurance for it. So this bike was gone. Well, the bike was insured, but all of their inventory, they just lost it. I mean, they just lost it all.
Damn.
It was a real hard lesson for those guys. And we tried to help them as much as we could. But that bike there, he sent me pictures of it. And then I placed it, the background of that last picture there was, that's the Black Hills, the Badlands in South Dakota. So he's actually out in Washington. But he rode through South Dakota and just loved the Badlands out there. So I'd been through the Badlands. I had a lot of images out there. So I took one of the images I had and used that as the inspiration for this one. But this is just an idea of like the bike doesn't exist anymore. It was never sitting right there in that place, but I was able to capture this moment in history and create it that never actually really happened. But that's just part of what I do. And I really enjoy that part of it. You know, the doing the art and stuff. And this one, you know, so I never did cats or people or anything, right? And so my sister wanted a picture of her cat, and I'm like, all right, I'll give it a shot. I don't know if I can do it any good. If it sucks, I'm sorry, but here, I'll give it a shot. So this was my first attempt at painting a cat.
It's pretty solid.
Pretty good. I like it.
It came out pretty damn good. I was really, and she got it and cried and was like, "You nailed it. This is you got."
You even got like the small hairs and stuff above the eyebrows and stuff like that. Like
it's all detail.
Yeah, the detail and the texture is insane.
But more, it's just capturing. This cat had, I've seen the cat, it was my sister's cat, so I knew it. It had a personality, and I was like, how do you capture the personality? Well, everything is in the eyes. So whenever I'm doing anything that is a pet or anything, it's all in the eyes. That's where all the personality lies. So that one came out really cool.
And Ken did an absolutely awesome job on my old dog, Hunter, who passed away from cancer. Probably 10 years ago, maybe 8 years ago now, but here's what he did for me, and absolutely awesome piece. This is the first piece that he ever did for me. I had him do three my other dogs, another one that had passed away, my two current dogs, and this by far is my favorite piece that he ever done for me so far. So I mean,
well, you had a great picture to start with, and that's what, you know, I tell people, take good images of your animals and your stuff that you're not going to have anymore, because later on down the road, if you want to do something like this, a decent image makes all the difference in the world. And this image you had of that dog at the sunset, I really didn't have to take much artistic license with it, Bruce. That shot you had was beautiful. So I just tried to enhance what I could and just try to bring as much of the feel and the life of that dog that I'd never met, but I could see it in the pictures. And you sent me other pictures too, so I could get a feel kind of what the dog looked like. And, you know, but just trying to capture that look in the eye that had this little smirk to it. And, you know, the medallion that you had hanging from the thing and all that kind of good stuff. And the sunset.
Hunter was a good dog. Hunter was a good dog.
You know,
we missed him every day. He passed away in my arms, so that was really
that's hard. That I had one dog like that too, and that's rough.
But then you do some other art. You do some stuff like this.
Yeah, airbrushing. So
airbrushing on the front of a Cadillac.
Well, what it is it's a drag car.
It looks like a Honda Civic.
So it used to be a truck, now it's a car.
It used to be a truck, yeah. Okay. No, it's all fiberglass front end. So this is a fiberglass front end. So I painted the grill, I painted the headlights, I painted the there's no lights in there. Those are all painted in. Oh, sure. And so like the grill itself, and then I had to cut out in between each one of the little holes where the grill would be a grill. It was solid because it was just one piece of fiberglass. So I had to get in there with a hole saw and cut out. It took me longer to cut the holes and file the holes in this car than it did to paint the whole thing.
I can imagine. That's a lot of small shit.
And then this is sketches. One of my favorite ones too. I call this my Griswold car.
That's what I was thinking of too. The family truckster.
So my friend Bob Davis with the Bob Davis podcast, another podcast that you got to listen to. He's driving around the country for the last 3 years. He lives in an ambulance and he's a nomad. Then he makes his living on doing a podcast. It's fantastic.
He used to be an associate pastor in Indiana because my associate pastor / youth pastor growing up, his name was Bob Davis.
Well, Bob Davis, I don't know if you know this, is probably
he got divorced and left, and so I figured maybe he went to Wisconsin or something.
No, it's funny because Bob Davis he had the #2 morning show here in Minneapolis, #2 morning show, and they talked about politics. It was called Davis and Emmer. He had been in radio for like 40 years, but it was Tom Emmer, who's now in Congress, in him, and they had the #2 show in the Twin Cities metro area. And eventually, he's a guy that, much like the four of us, isn't going to have someone tell him what he can say and what he can't say. So ended up getting his ass fired. Said, fuck it, I'll do podcasts. And so he did political podcasts, and he was traveling around in a Crown Vic. He lived here in Minneapolis and had an apartment or house. But he'd travel around to different things. He realized, this sucks. And one of the guys, he was buying old cop cars. He's like me. He likes to buy old cars, drive them for a while, and then use them up and sell them. You never have a car payment. Anyway, whatever. He needed something bigger. And the guy's like, why don't we get you an ambulance? They're heavy duty. They're fast, so you can drive them on the highway at 75, 80 miles an hour. They're designed, and they hold together, and they'd be a great thing for you. You could travel around the country. You could sleep in it. It's great.
If you get sick, the ambulance driver already knows how to drive it, so you're good.
Yeah, so he bought one. He found a 2000 F350 or F450 Ford ambulance with the old diesel in it. I mean, they're bulletproof. You can just run them up. So he lives in it. Anyway, his parents had that car when he was younger in the 60s. That's a 1967 Buick Sport Wagon. So we were talking one night, and I sketched that up and sent it to him. But I like doing those kind of like cartoon sketches too. You know, if you remember the old Mad magazine and the margins, they had the marginals. Yep. They were called those kind of sketches. I love that style.
Sergio Aragones and those guys were freaking great.
Spy versus Spy, all that kind of. It was that same kind of style. I always really liked it because it's really free and fresh, and so that's just one of those images like that.
How long has Mad K Studios been around, and how long did it take you to get that up off the ground, and how's it doing now?
I think I did my first commissioned drawing when I was 17. Someone wanted me to draw their 59 Chevy.
God, you're only 19, really? God.
Yeah, I got it going.
He's 25 now. He started when he was 19, Bruce.
It's been a hard 25 years.
Yeah.
But no, I started when I was 19, and I really didn't get it going until when I was in art school. I went to Minneapolis College of Art and Design, like Jason did. We weren't there at the same time. We just missed each other. But I'd drive back to Boston, where I lived, every summer, and I'd go to car shows. I had a 71 Cutlass Supreme, and I'd take that to car shows, and I'd draw a picture of it. Someone wanted another picture of it, and another person wanted a picture of their car. And picture. I'm like, wait a minute, there's a thing here. So instead of painting houses and going up on ladders and like killing myself, why don't I just draw cars and then just go to car shows? That'll be my job. And it worked. You know, I was making 10 to 12 grand in the summer drawing people's cars at $100 a piece. And my dad was like, you know, I was so busy. And he's like, you're not charging enough. And all the things that he was right about, you know. Years later, I applied, because when I moved to Minnesota full-time in 1992, basically after college, I'm like, I'm not living in Boston. It's just too expensive. And I moved to Minnesota, and it was a different vibe. Nobody wanted to spend $100 or $150 on a drawing of a car. There was a few people here and there I could get, but what they would ask me is like, well, can you paint it on the car? I'm like, well, you want me to paint a painting of your car on your car? I guess. So I started doing that. and so for like 20 years,
That's some Canadian shit.
It was. Well, and it's just like, you're right. Can you let her like cruising, you know, or you know? So I was painting shit on car, and then I got into airbrushing, and then I got into I worked at a place called Wizard Custom Studios. We were building custom cars and motorcycles, and I learned to weld and fabricate, and learned a lot about motorcycles there and how to customize bikes and do that kind of stuff and restore cars from the ground up. We'd build cars, all that kind of stuff. So I learned all of those things while making like no money. Just struggling. And so eventually I ended up getting a job in the motorcycle industry, designing parts and doing that kind of stuff. And it was a steady job because I had a family. And once the kids kind of got grown a little bit, I said, you know what? I want to start drawing cars again, but now I don't have to. So I wasn't counting on it. And now that's like all I want to do. So it's taken a very strange path, because it started out I was super successful with it for a few years, and it fell on its face, and I stopped doing it for a while, did something different, custom painted. I had my own like body shop after a while too for 20 years. And now I'm just to the point where I'm like, you know what, this is great. I've got all this experience to do all these different things, and now I've got a channel that I can focus on and just create and just be a creative person and make the things I want. And like last year, I like doubled or tripled my prices, and I'm busier than I ever have been. And
words to live by, man.
And I want to make sure every person gets the best drawing or painting that I've ever done. You know, so each one has to be above and beyond. I don't look at hours. I don't look at time. I don't give people dates. I don't do deadlines. I just say, I'm going to do this for you, and you're going to love it. And when I feel it's ready, it's ready.
That's what he told me. That's what you told me.
And I try to be reasonable with that, because a lot of people say that and it's 2 years out, like what I do with my brother. he gave me something. He gave me something to paint. He's like, he had this because he saw some of the dog stuff or the cat stuff I did for my sister. He's like, oh, that shit was awesome, dude. You got to do this dog. And he sent me this little metal cutout of a dog. I don't have pictures of it to show you guys, but it was just a metal, like you buy those steel cutouts of the shape of a Sheltie or a German Shepherd or whatever. We happened to have a Sheltie, so he sent me pictures of the dog, and he sent me that metal thing, and it was like a year and a half. I started it and stopped and started and stopped. And it was like, he kept asking, he's like, you ever do that fucking dog or what? And I'm like, he paid me for it by sending me the AM radio with the clock built into it from the early 60s that was sitting on my parents' kitchen dinette little area. Everyone had them, Bruce. You have to remember those.
Yeah, everybody had one.
It's just a white plastic. It's a clock with a radio in it, and it was in anyway. So he sent me that, so I get this thing done and sent it to him, and he calls me up. He's like, "I've never seen anything like this." I'm like, "Dave, this wasn't a big deal. It's this big. It's like 10 inches by 6 inches." But he was just moved. He's like, "This is just incredible." So. As an artist, and I think we can all 4 of us relate because we all do creative things. You're never satisfied with what you did. Yep. You're like, okay, it's always I'm content with where it is, so I can let it go. But I'm not. It could be better, and I want it to be better.
Cool.
And that's the way I am. So that's my basic. That's Mad Case Studios. Is I never want to stop learning. I'm constantly searching for people that are there. I try to find painters and artists that are so much better than me. I'm the same with music, that are so much better than me that all I want to, I just get so inspired by watching them, and you're compelled to go and create. I mean, you have to, or you go crazy.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
So that's where that all came from. So yeah, it took a long time to get where I'm at, but now that I'm here, I'm just loving it, and I'm planning the rest of my life to just do that. I'd be an eccentric artist.
Cool. Harko, you're up next, brother.
You got 3 minutes, Harko.
Curator.
3 minutes. That sounds like my fucking Tuesday night sessions with Jason.
We're going overtime tonight.
I get in. He's like, "All right, you got 3 minutes and go." And I'm like, "Okay, I got 5 minutes."
We're going overtime tonight, man. You are one of the co-hosts, or actually the main host of the Music Making Sense podcast. But you've had podcasts before this, and I couldn't find your old podcast stuff. But you had the hip hop hour, which was pretty cool, because that's how I kind of got, we were on the Nomad Network, and then you had the hip hop podcast on, and that's how I got into hip hop.
I learned a lot from that podcast.
This old 64-year-old guy's into hip hop, man. He likes Famoso, man. He's all over that. But you are Music Making Sense podcast, dude. You also have a couple of things in the fire, dude. You also have Apex Music Systems, which is your new site, man. And that's pretty cool. Did a couple of things here for you, and a couple of things that you do: some website building, some music video editing, some email marketing. That, and you're also into creative content strategy, consultation, social media management, music marketing, and then basically this is your life now. So here we go.
Yeah, pretty much.
Your newest thing that you've been doing, you are now in Minect.
Yeah, that is correct.
He is an expert. He's an expert with PBD, right?
Yeah. I partnered with Patrick Bet David in order to become an expert on his platform, Minect. Technically, but he doesn't know who I am. But yeah, so Patrick Bet David, host of the PBD podcast, he created a platform called Minect, and I've been thinking about hopping on there for a little bit and stuff. And then I think it was Ken. I think you said something about you were checking it out one day a few weeks back or whatever, maybe
right.
2 weeks back or something like that. And I was laying there in bed and I was like, well, fuck yeah, I'm not tired yet. So I went on there and I was like, well, let me just sign up as an expert. And so I signed up and I filled out my whole form. And when you sign up as an expert, dude, it's like filling out a job application.
Man. It really is. I did the same thing.
You did the same. Crazy. Okay, good. Yeah, because you got to go through and miss the hip hop podcast. You should check out Music Making Sense podcast. Danny Hudson, or no, sorry, Will Reckon. goddamn. Anyway, sorry about that. But Will Reckman, yeah, man, check it out. It's mainly about marketing. Music Making Sense podcast. It's a lot about marketing in a music sense, but I mean, you can kind of use it pretty much anywhere, the way I see it. But we mainly specialize in music. But yeah, with Connect, so I signed up for that. Like, there's a lot of stuff you gotta answer and stuff. You gotta basically fill out a fucking an I-9 and all kinds of, I-9 and all kinds of stuff. You got to put they do a background check on you. They verify your bank account and all that kind of stuff. So if you're not doing something legit, you can't get on there. And but yeah, I ended up getting somebody sent me because it asks when you go on there, you fill out your bio, who you are, and everything like that, and then it asks like for you to create like some questions, right? So I created some questions. Well, somebody asked me a question that wasn't on there, and so I got a question, my first question the other day. So then I answered it with like 500 words. Like, it's got like a 10,000 character maximum or whatever, and I did it with like 5,000 or something like that. Like, I just really went above and beyond to answer the question, because the question was really vague. It was like, how do I find it, or where do I find a manager? I'm like, well, of what? Like, like, that's all I said was where can I get a manager? I'm like, and like I tried clicking on their profile and I couldn't click on their profile. So I'm like, who the fuck are you? What do you do? Like, right? And that's my initial thoughts. But so I just went above and beyond. I was like, all right, well, my expertise is mainly in music, but I mean, you can use a similar thing when it comes to like acting or something like that, because that's usually what people need managers for. But I went above and beyond talking to them about all different things, about how, like, a manager really does this, and this. I mean, you can kind of get a manager if you want to, but it's not really necessary if you get hooked up with a solid indie label or, a marketing agency such as my own, blah, 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 stuff like that. So I really went above, gave them a lot of information, and then a pitch at the end, obviously, that, hey, I got a marketing company called Apex Music Systems. I got free initial consultations, sit down and chop it up and everything like that. Like I said, I specialize mainly in music, but I mean, I've helped out a couple podcasts, a blog writer, and stuff like that as well too. So, and a couple of producers and stuff. But yeah, I used to have a podcast called Hip Hop Hour, and I had that, excuse me, for about a little over 4 years. And as Will Reckland says in the YouTube comment about how he missed it, and that's actually where Ken and even Bruce really got like a first exposure to me, because in the Nomad Network, we would see each other and stuff like that, make posts or whatever, but we never really got to get to know anybody, at first. And I made a post or something like that about my show, and they went and checked it out, and they're like, "Oh my God, it's awesome!" Because what I was doing was, I was like, I have a unique perspective on the hip hop culture and hip hop in general, and so what I did, it was a radio show style podcast where I just played people's music, a bunch of independent artists. I never played any like mainstream people. Independent artists, played their music, talked about them in between, and then every episode I pick a topic, kind of, usually current event or something like that, and I would talk about it for a little bit, have a little bit of a rant and stuff like that in there. And it was really like a libertarian-minded style podcast, bringing like a true, like what I consider like the true core of hip hop, with it as well too, which is fuck you, I'll do what I want, leave me the fuck alone, let me live my life and be free. And I mean, that's a libertarian perspective when you look at things in a political landscape. But as far as hip hop as the culture, I mean, hip hop was started mostly by people in homeless shelters in New York, for the most part. I mean, the first turntables were made from a out-of-work electrician who got a couple of record players and wired them together and just makeshift created his own little switcher board to go in between, and boom, you had the birth of the turntables. So, and like I said, out of work, aka homeless dude, you know what I'm saying, finding some shit in the damn gutter, and all these people were just, they created something from nothing, and it was all about, I want to express myself. This is me. This is who I am. This is who I stand for, and all that stuff. So I really brought that And I was tying in a lot of different perspectives. I had like a black Gaston flag behind me in the video and everything like that. You know, I was talking about how I had my, you know, I kept my number 2 with me all the time, and you know that was my gun and stuff like that. And so, you know, like, because that's a lot about hip hop culture as well too. You know, like the real hip hop culture, not the mainstream shit that y'all see with all the flashy stuff and the dumb shit. It's the real hip hop culture is a libertarian culture. I mean, it's all about, you know, individualism, people doing what they want, living free, and just telling everybody, including especially the government, to go fuck themselves.
Yeah,
you know,
I remember you being one of my interviews during the Old Weathered Soul podcast when I brought that back, and you did a good hour with me there, and that was when me and you really got together and started going, you know, kind of saying, okay, well, we're kind of the same. I'm an old guy, you're a young guy. I'm old as fucking spit. You're young as freaking got still water behind your ears.
Yeah, I look like I'm 25, but I'm 37. But yeah, either way, I'm a lot younger than 125 like you are, Bruce. So
yeah, but the fact is that you have climbed that ladder, man, that I've seen in the last like 5 years that we've actually known each other, you know, kind of, you know, on the Nomad Network and coming through Leverage and up until now where you're the co-host on the Weather Report, man, and I'm impressed. I'm really impressed on how far you've made it, man, because it's been trials
a long road too.
Man.
I mean, because, you know, I had that podcast. I was trying to figure out what to do with the podcast, and I took multiple different courses. Like, I took some on music marketing. I took some from Jason Stapleton on just business marketing and everything like that. And yeah, then I realized through different things that, you know, the hip hop hour, it wasn't really what I wanted to do anymore. I started the more I learned about marketing, the more I realized that I liked the marketing aspect. And while I create my own music as well too, and while I was learning on, you know, how to market that as well, I realized, I'm like, look, all these artists I'm dealing with on Hip Hop Hour, they don't know how to fucking market for shit, you know? And yeah, I'm sitting here trying to learn how to market myself and everything, but you know, like, these guys just don't know shit. Like, I know way more than them. And so I ended up transforming in going the route of doing music marketing and helping people with their marketing. And I, you know, all the skills that I learned how to do because I had $0, but I had some extra time and I needed to make things work, like building websites or doing email marketing or doing video editing, long form, short form, like all that shit. I learned how to do it all myself off of YouTube because, as we said in the beginning, I'm a after 1 year college dropout. You know, like, taught myself how to do all that shit and through YouTube, through all kinds of stuff. And so now, yeah, Music Making Sense podcasts, you know, me and my co-host, KP, we're both musicians that also help out artists with marketing. We met in a music marketing executive course that I had taken last year as well to learn more of the business aspects to, like, music marketing and stuff like that. Whenever you, like, onboarding people and some other things, you know, in there. But anyway, we met in like a live call one day, and all the people in the call were like me and him to start going back and forth about something. And they're like, yo, y'all should fucking have a podcast. And so we put together a podcast and said, fuck it. And so it's pretty cool. Like, we talk about music marketing from like a base level perspective. And, but aside from that, like Bruce said, I got, Apex Music Systems, which is my actual company that I have for doing the music marketing stuff. And I kind of tie them both together to an extent, just because, you know, the content that the podcast is a weekly podcast. I take that content and then I also do like a vlog style, like morning walk once a week where I have to discuss a different topic as well too. And I put that up on all the channels and stuff like that, send it out via email, everything like that. But yeah, my main goal with Music Making Sense podcast and Apex Music Systems and what I do is I just want to help people because, you know, I've heard Jason say it, but Jason Stapleton say it, and a lot of other people have said it too, is like, look, you know, you don't have to be like the leading expert on something in order to be able to help people. And you're not going to be able to come out the gate and be a leading expert on something and have everybody all of a sudden know you from nothing. You got to build. And, you know, I can't remember who said it, but I heard someone say something about like, you know, if you look at your knowledge, just think about how many people don't know as much as you. And so, you know, I was realizing that. And so that's kind of basically what I go off of is like, you know, if I'm starting to talking to somebody, excuse me, if I'm sitting there talking to somebody and, you know, they act like they know more than me or they actually do know more than me, you know, because those two are definitely different, people who act and people who know. And then I just tell them, I'm like, hey, look, you're not my demographic. I can't help you out. You know, I help out the people who have been doing it for a couple of years or maybe just getting started, but they don't have like all the business aspects in line. They don't know how to market properly. They're constantly out there saying, you know, buy my stuff now, stream now. Oh, go check out my stuff now. Like they're always doing that in their posts instead of just entertaining people. And that's what it is. If you're in the entertainment industry, you entertain first and you sell second. And they don't understand that because the episode's coming out tomorrow, the new episode where me and KP talked about this. But I had an epiphany last week. I realized that you know, a lot of people, since like 80 or 90% of our economy out here in America at least is an hourly wage economy. Most people are used to a 1-for-1 transaction. You know, they're used to, if I work for 1 hour, I get this many dollars. So when it comes to their music, they're like, that's why they like, oh, wait, we should get paid more per stream because I get my money per stream. And it's like, no, you got to create the value and provide the value in order to get the money from your fans. And you can get way more money than what you just get off of streams if you provide the right amount of value to people. And so, so yeah, dude, like, you know, base level shit like that. Like that's the kind of stuff that I help out with people with their music marketing and stuff. Just thinking outside the box and breaking shit down to where it's simple. I'm like, look, it's not that complicated. Just fucking entertain people.
Right.
Stop trying to sell. Get somebody like me on your team and help you set up the sales on the back end. You know, and because I mean, because the thing is that setting up the sales funnel on the back end, you set it up once, you're good, right? Like you send out a weekly email or something like that. Other than that, you're pretty much good. Other than that, you just entertain people and you're good. Like, and that's the thing too, is that all this content online and stuff like that, all these influencers and stuff like that, like everybody who has a podcast or who does consulting or something like that, they always have to create a lot of content because content marketing is the way of the internet right now. So they're always like, oh, I got to think of different ways to create content so I can prove my relevance and get out there and get attracted by different people. But people who create music, like all you do is create content, but they don't know the business aspect. You know what I'm saying? So I try to merge those two things with them because, yeah, they're lacking. And then a lot of times they get so, I don't know what it is. It's a mix of like overwhelm and blissful ignorance to the fact that they're in the entertainment industry. So that's their main, they need to do that all the time, but they won't. Like and because they think, oh, well, it's not going to look good enough or whatever the situation. Oh, I don't have $800 for a music video. Okay, well, you make 8 of them for fucking $800. Like, goddamn, like do them all yourself. You know, just shoot them. Have your next door neighbor fucking shoot the shit for you or something. You know what I'm saying? Find some aspiring OnlyFans model in your neighborhood or whatever, and be like, yo, you're good with a camera. Can you hold a camera for me while I fucking do this music video real quick? You know what I'm saying? Like some shit like that. You know, you work together for people. Maybe you hold the camera for her and replace, you know, and maybe do some shit later on or whatever, you know. Anyway, that's a personal experience I've dealt with lately. But anyway, that's my personal life in here. I can't be doing that. But no, you just do you figure out a way to get where you want to go. And you know, I'm finally starting to get, you know, my shit straight. Like I've been at this 2016, I started getting the ideas for creating a podcast, and I want to do a political style podcast. But then I was like, no, there's a lot out there. And then the reason I started Hip Hop Hour was because I knew a few musicians, and they were always bitching about there's no platform out here for independent artists. So I was like, fuck it, I'll create a platform. right? Because I've always had that "fuck it, I'll figure it out" attitude, and yeah. So then I just went ahead and did it in 2017, and there's a lot of different things that brought me to that, but yeah, then just over the years, I had to teach myself how to do everything, and so now I'm just like, yo, if I learn how to do it, y'all can do it. Like, it's not that hard. And you know what? If you don't want to learn how to do it, then just give me some money and I'll do it for you. It's just that's just my overall mindset on Apex Music System is like, I'll show you how to do it, but if you don't want to do it, give me money and I'll do it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Hey, yeah. So thanks, man, for that little blurb that you got there, man. Because yeah, I've found out that because of this podcast, and I've been doing a lot of podcasts. So this is like my 4th podcast that I've done under the same name, Weathered Something or Other, and that's what I've done. I've had plenty of co-hosts before, but I found out through this that I'm a helper. Okay, so I'm the guy that's going to give Harkos, a space to be, Jason a space to be, Ken a space to be. Not that you guys need a space to be, but I want to be not everything to everybody, but I want to give somebody a platform. Man. If they want to come on my podcast, they go on and talk about their stuff. That's cool. I've got all kinds of irons in the fire. I've had irons in the fire with Jason for freaking going on 6-7 years now. Nothing's ever really caught, but I'm a content creator. I'm also a multi-level marketer. Also a facilities engineer on my 9 to 5. The stuff that I've been doing all my life. But nothing gives me more pleasure than to be able to give people a platform to step up, get recognized somewhere, even though depending on whether we have 1 listener, 10 listeners, 50 listeners, 100,000 listeners, it doesn't matter. I want to give those people some place that they can voice their opinion, voice their wares, voice their stuff, give experience to our listeners. Like today, we're doing a spotlight on all of us because that's what we do. That's what we do here. We're small business guys, and we're all in different areas on where we're at on the top of the ladder, whether we're on the bottom of the ladder. I'm somewhere in the middle somewhere. What I do is what I do. I'm a multi-level marketer for Plexus. That's what I do. I do what Harkos did years ago. He worked for the vitamin shop. I work for Plexus.
Yeah.
So I try to sell.
The difference is that one of us deals in multi-level marketing scams, and the other one actually worked for a corporation. Oh no, wait, sorry. Yeah, I was dealing with scams. Sorry, and you are working for a corporation. My bad.
I also work for. I also have my own website called The Weathered Soul, and actually Harkos has helped me out a lot with this website. So this is some of his work that he's done for me here, and this is something that's been evolving over the years. I've had this website for a couple of years. It's pretty cool. It does its job. And then, of course, I'm a content creator, which I've got right now, which is my thing that I'm working on now, is the Weathered Soul Gardening. And that is in conjunction with me, and Harkos has stepped up and sent me a whole bunch of content and stuff that I've also been posting on the Weathered Soul YouTube page. So this is my passion. So gardening is my passion. Besides giving you guys a space to be on my podcast or be on our podcast with us, our X stuff that we do in the morning, which is our really raw stuff that we go to. This is my passion. And then of course, what you're watching now is the weather report. This stuff is you can all grab on YouTube or Rumble. The Weathered Soul Moment, which is another kind of playlist that I do on little blurbs that I do like during my lunchtime if I'm taking my walk, like you do, Harkos, when you take your nature walks in the morning. Kind of the same thing. This stuff usually goes up on TikTok or Facebook or whatever. And then we got the Weathered View in the morning, which is if you really want to get to know us, then you want to go on X in the morning, or you want to download
Unfiltered.
Extremely unfiltered.
And then here we go. Hip Hop Gardening with Harkos is the newest playlist on the Weathered Soul YouTube website, and it is great. We're on episode number 5. I haven't dropped episode number 6 on either one of our content stuff, but it's great. And then I have my first shop open, which is TWSS Weathered Soul shop, where you can get all the stuff that I use during my gardening and stuff. And I can't scroll down on this because this is just a snippet. But I love doing gardening. I would like to share some of the stuff that I have with the audience on what I do and what I use, and
Yeah, Bruce is very fancy and sophisticated with his gardening, and he's got a full list of a lot of products that he uses in his garden over at the shop. So if y'all are about making sure you guys got the best products and stuff like that, go over to the shop and check it out. But if you guys just don't use shit in your garden and you still make some magic happen, and you go check out Hip Hop Gardening over there, and you'll figure out how this motherfucker just did what in his garden. That's my shit. Yeah, it's like, wait, hold on. He used some old fence and then just threw some eggshells and some shit. What the fuck is he doing over there? But I make it happen. Wait, he just used a bunch of old hose and ran it underground for his garden sprinkler system? Oh, okay. Stuff like that. So
well, this is a Harco's design right here that I incorporated today into my yard.
Kind of, yeah, cool. Because for those of y'all listening, he put a pallet fencing basically around his garden area to use as trellis, and you get that off of me because I use pallets to make my woodshed, and then I ran up the side of my woodshed, which is right on the edge of my garden. I ran some tomatoes up that last year, and I'm going to be doing it again this year as well too.
I once turned a table into a pallet.
Yeah. You turn a table into a pallet. Yeah. I've built some chairs and some benches out of pallets before, and I did that. God, like this was like 2011, 2012, something like that, and they got all rickety and stuff like that. And I burnt them whenever I moved in 2016. But we'll be building some more again and stuff. I'll probably end up throwing that up.
Do what the pallets are really handy for is moving shit around in a warehouse with a forklift.
Yeah,
I've done that. That's a lot of fun. You can lift them up.
Listen, the handheld fucking pallet jacks. Yeah,
the pallet jacks. Yes,
pallet jacks. Yeah, I'm talking about forklifts. Where you sit in there and you have a horn. It's a little light on top, spin around. Yeah, you can lift it up. You can put it down. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I used to drive a forklift at a warehouse before.
Are we brothers in forkliftery?
Yes, exactly.
I had my license.
I had my license of being a forklift driver too.
I had one, but it only was good Kroger. Within that company.
For Kroger, when I lived in Texas, when I lived in Brownwood, Texas, I got my license for forklift driving at Kroger.
I do a forklift every single day when I eat.
Yeah.
I was at Frank's Nursery and Crafts. It's a Midwest nursery and crafts. Remember those? That's where I got my forklift license.
I got mine at Random House Publishing's warehouse here in Indiana.
Oh my gosh, I still owe you guys money. You don't know me. I had $100.
Columbia House. I still owe the money from 1992.
No, not Columbia House. I said Random House. Random House is book publishing. Columbia House.
Yeah. Run.
I'm not that old, Bruce. Come on now.
45 CDs for a penny.
Yeah, no, that shit was crazy.
Wasn't it?
That era, that era was nuts, man. But like we all said on here, it takes a while to get shit up and running. I mean, like me and Jason have taken quite a while to get done. Ken, he hopped out the womb and started making money on art, but he took a pause there for a little bit. But like me and Jason, like we spent multiple years doing this shit, and he's finally getting rocking and rolling on it. It's like teetering towards becoming more of a full-time than a part-time thing for him. And then same thing with mine as well too. I'm a couple of years ago in 2020, I quit my regular job to start doing Grubhub and Uber Eats so I could focus on my business. But I quit like a little too early because I really didn't know shit. But I took that time to do a lot of education. And so, a few years later, I'm finally back at it, and I'm actually starting to get things on track, making a lot of different connections and stuff, in my stuff with doing consulting and stuff. But it takes a while.
I've learned a multitude from all you guys, man, and I really appreciate you guys. Number one, being my co-host. Number two,
this is the political podcast that I wanted to do in 2016.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we're gonna do more politics, and that's next week with Shane Mecklin from the Minnesota State Legislature, which is going to be pretty cool. But I want to thank you guys.
We should get Bill Will Reckler.
Yeah, we're going to get Bill. Bill, man, just let us know, man. We're going to get you on and get you all hooked up. We're hoping to get Danny Hudson on here pretty soon, as soon as we get contact with him. And we're always looking for people that want to come on.
And Jason too.
Yeah, if you want to come on, just let us know, man. All the show notes are down underneath the podcast notes or description of this podcast, whether it be on YouTube, Rumble, or whether it be on Podbean or whatever. It's there. But yeah, thank you guys for being here again.
Bruce, I got a question for you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We're gonna do this again next week. Go ahead. What?
I got a question for you, man. I don't know if you guys already covered this in the beginning because I was a little bit late, but since you live in Mexico, did you guys celebrate Cinco de Mayo today?
Oh yeah, by the way, happy Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, well fuck, it's almost not Cinco de Mayo anymore on the East Coast on the right hand time.
I'm stuck in traffic in downtown Gilroy because we were going to Costco at noon today. Mm-hmm. And I was wondering, I saw this parade up ahead. First of all, I saw the cop lights up ahead. I'm going oh, what the fuck is happening down there? Is shooting or something? Because we have shootings here in fucking Gilroy. But anyway, I look up there and my wife's going oh my God, it's not one of those, anti-Israel fucking pro-Palestinian. I'm like, no, I'm looking up there and I see, I see a whole bunch of kids or girls in what do they call that, Cancionera or whatever. See, I'm so Mexican, I don't even know that. But anyway, I started thinking about it, and I tried to make my way around this traffic, and all of a sudden I get stuck on this street for 15 minutes. And I'm thinking about it, I'm going what the fuck holiday is it? I'm like, it's fucking Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, how'd you not know it was Cinco de Mayo? You live in fucking Mexico and everything, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So happy Cinco de Mayo, guys.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Happy Cinco de Mayo.
I even had tacos for dinner tonight.
I just had nachos for dinner before, and I had burritos for lunch.
Just remember,
I had tacos and I had a Modelo. For with my tacos. So it was pretty.
Tacos are more important than pumpkin spice.
I was pretty damn cool today being a Mexican. So there we go.
I have that on the back of my edge.
Well, if you like the content that we're putting out, man, you guys do all those things like share, do everything. Share this with your enemy because they would love this podcast. And make sure that you listen to us on X on Monday through Friday, because that way you can get our raw stuff that we love.
Raw's the best way, man. You get
I like it raw.
I'm telling you. But yeah, man, I had a good time today. And like I said, subscribe, hit that share button, hit that like button, do all those things. And we're going to be back next week with another round of the Weather Report. See you guys later.
Yeah.
Hey.
See ya.
See ya, guys.
See ya.
Later.
Later.